Vaalco Energy Incorporated, the head of engineering and technical services, so vice president of technical services is my official title. And part of my remit is looking after the engineering portion of our ESG reporting, so environmental and social governance. As part of our sustainability reporting, we need to track our carbon equivalent emissions and CO2 equivalent emissions. So the original way this was set up was a process engineer prepared an Excel spreadsheet with the calculations that take the raw data and convert them into CO2 equivalent. That works. The problem with that is the difficulty in updating the data. So there's lots of data to enter, and then the data comes in various different forms, and so whether that be Excel spreadsheets or people filling in documents, reports for us, and so it is quite cumbersome to be able to go and track that data down and then update the spreadsheet and then look at the answer. But bringing a third party in to do an external audit was borderline impossible as a result of the spreadsheet and the way the data was collected. And so the first problem that we had was we needed to have an auditable database of the data. And so the objective for us was to be able to see if it was possible to automate all of that. So we historically would have gone out to a specialist oil and gas company and looked for solutions through them. And we weren't aware of a ready-made solution for what we were trying to do, certainly that was sort of fit for purpose for our specific selection of assets. And so we realized that we had a data analytics problem rather than necessarily an oil and gas problem. Well, we had the calculations because we prepared the spreadsheet ourselves. We had a process engineer had worked on that for 12 to 18 months. So the real benefit of NarrativeWave was to come in and utilize our skill set in understanding our assets and then NarrativeWave's skill set in understanding data. And we found that to work extremely well. So as we've progressed through this, we've managed to take what was a very manual process and automate it. And NarrativeWave have proven themselves to be extremely efficient at extracting the data, analyzing the data, and then reporting it out. One of the things that NarrativeWave did extremely well was also their ability. I guess they work with data all the time, and so they've met all of our quality checks from an IT security standpoint, which has been positive too. We would never have been, we could have spent a year just worrying about that piece on its own. For us as a company, the value has really been, well, the first value is very much in the auditability of it. And so to be able to track the data internally is one thing, but to be able to report out on it in our sustainability report, it needs ultimately to be audited. And so that organising the data and organising the data in a way where it can be easily audited has been a real plus for us. The second piece of where it's been valuable to us is that real-time access to the data. So at any given point in time, as soon as the daily reports are issued, and effectively the database is updated and the data's there for us. That from an engineering standpoint now means that not only can we use it from an ESG standpoint, but we can also use it from a raw engineering standpoint. Something going wrong offshore, you can see it in the data. That helps us, having access to the data helps us from our day-to-day engineering standpoint. I'd say for us this has been a painless experience and a productive outcome. So my first comment would be, if you've got a problem, a data problem, then yeah, I would highly recommend utilizing NarrativeWave. It has really helped us become more efficient. So having access to organized data allows us to be more efficient in our day task. One of the really big benefits to us is we had a problem. NarrativeWave came in and fixed our problem, and now they've left us with a solution that is self-performing and is maintaining itself. And so they're there if we have a technical question, we want a tweak or a modification, they can help us with that. But we're now free to move on and look at our next use case, whilst the original work they did is living on, it's evergreen.